Hello and welcome to the channel, and I'm here for, well, it's technically not an album review, but it's an EP review, and this is for the Devil Wears Prada's latest EP, ZII, or it could also be known as Zombie 2. This is the sequel to the Zombie EP, which came out years ago, of course, and, I did make a video talking about this upcoming EP, and I was kind of curious about it since the Zombie EP was my introduction to The Devil Wears Prada. Now, if you know me well enough, The Devil Wears Prada is not really a band that I'm crazy about these days like I used to be. I remember really liking these guys back in my first year of college. I mean, I listened to them a lot back in my first year of college, but after that, they just kind of dropped off for me. And I think that's for a few reasons. For one, I'm not really into this whole edgy kind of metalcore like I used to be, that late 2000s metalcore. But because The Devil Wears Prada was one of my first metalcore bands, and they're a band that I have some nostalgia for, they are a band that I think I will always be curious about no matter what album or EP that they come out with. And I think another reason that this band has dropped off for me is because, well, the last two albums from the band, Transit Blues and The Act, have not been that great, especially The Act. I think that's their worst album easily. And, I know there are some people that really do like that album, and then there's people that don't, so it is a bit of a divisive album, I guess. And I think because of the mixed reception that The Act got, it seems like this new EP, Z2, is basically The Devil Wears Prada's way of trying to redeem themselves after that EP. And would I say that they succeeded in that? Well, I would say yes. I mean, this EP is definitely a lot better than their last album, their last full-length release for sure. And it seems like the Devil Wears Prada knew what they were doing at this point. They were thinking, okay, apparently our last album or even the last couple of album releases have been underwhelming or just not as good for some people. So let's continue the thing that made us really skyrocket, I guess. The thing that a lot of people really like, of course. And we're going to continue the Zombie EP. We're going to make a part 2, a sequel to the Zombie EP. Now, I have to say, as a former fan of the Devil Wears Prada, I have to say that this EP is kind of pleasantly surprising. It's definitely better than The Act. I think that this is maybe the best thing that the Devil Wears Prada has done, maybe since Dead Throne, at least. I think to me that was really their last solid album. But even though that is the case, this EP is still not enough to convert me back to being a fan of the band. And to be honest, I know that this might not go well for some people, especially the fans of the band. But to be honest, I don't think that there's really anything this band can do to get me back on board in their fan base. And the reason I say that is, well, once again, my time with this band is pretty much done, of course. I'm not really into this style of metalcore, or much metalcore in general, anyway. But I do want to review this EP as an objective standpoint opposed to a biased standpoint, because I don't want to say that this EP is just not good for the sake of it being metalcore or whatever. I do want to be objective with my review. Now, I will say that this EP is not as good as the original Zombie EP, but it's still the best thing that the band has done in years. I will say that, of course. But yeah, with this EP, of course, it starts off not too bad with Nightfall. I got some original Zombie EP vibes right off the bat. And, with Mike Haranica's vocal delivery on this EP with his screams, I'm not sure what happened in the timeline in between this and The Act, but he's definitely improved. This actually does sound like it could have came out the year after the original Zombie EP, to be honest. Or at least, maybe at least a few years after anyway. And it does make you wonder why, they didn't do this EP shortly after the original. But I think that's because this EP was not originally planned. Now, I could be completely wrong about that, but I honestly don't think that The Devil Wears Prada had any intent in doing a sequel to the Zombie EP. I think personally, for me, they just did it after the backlash and some of the divisive opinions of the act. And understandably so. I mean, of course they want to continue the thing that really made them good, I guess. But like I said, it's not enough to convert me back into being in their fan base. But as an objective standpoint, I do think that this EP is the best thing that they've done in years. Nightfall, to me, is not too bad of a track. Strong opening track, a heavy track. But one thing that I will say, and this is really a negative that I have with this EP, and it's that there's not really a whole lot of diverse tracks on this EP. Now, the songs on this EP definitely have some interesting ideas, especially the song Nora. That song has some interesting ideas for sure, but I mean, it's not really anything special. But all in all, it's not too bad. I mean, even though I thought The Act was the worst album of the year that it came out, or at least the worst metalcore album of the year that it came out, which I believe was 2019, this is definitely an improvement. It definitely is. And this is coming from someone who's not even a fan of the band like I used to be. But they were one of my first metalcore bands, so of course I had to check it out, and the Zombie EP was my introduction to the band after all, so you know I had to check out part 2, of course. It's not bad, but it's nothing mind-blowing either. All in all, I can't say it's bad, alright? I think objectively it's technically good, but maybe it's just my bias and all that with the band. Now, maybe if you want a more unbiased review of this EP, I would just recommend checking out someone's review who really loves metalcore. So if I were to give this EP a score, now I think objectively I would probably give it maybe an 8 out of 10. But as far as my bias and how I personally feel about it, like a bias standpoint, I probably maybe give it like a 6 out of 10. But yeah, it's not all bad though. I mean, I can't say that I dislike it, to be honest, but for me, it's just kind of meh. But I think objectively, it is a good EP. And if you are a fan of The Devil Wears Prada still to this day, this is probably one that you will enjoy, for sure. I mean, that's all there really is to say about it. So that's my review of Z2, aka Zombie 2 by The Devil Wears Prada. Let me know what you guys think. What did you think of this EP? Did it pleasantly surprise you? Did you not like it? Are you like me, where it's just kind of meh? Like, you know, yes, it's technically good, but it's just not really your style anymore? Feel free to let me know your thoughts. So, on that note, thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and take care.